Hello, welcome to Outside Extra. I'm Mike, joined by Andy, and
we're on Outside Extra.
We are on the purple sofa
from Outside Xbox, but we're on an Outside Extra. They don't know we got in here.
Yeah,
touching their sofa.
Well, we're here to talk about SpongeBob SquarePants,
and there's nothing they can do about it.
Literally nothing. They're not even in the same building.
Say the name of the game again.
SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake.
Yes.
In this video, brought to you by Outside Extra and sponsor THQ Nordic.
I was quite surprised by this game, and I thought I'd lay on you some things you ought to know about the game.
Please do.
Because there were a few surprises in there.
Great, I'm excited to hear them.
Okay, so thing you need to know about SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake is that this is a sequel 2 decades in the making.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, you might remember in 2020, there was SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
I do remember that, yes.
Right. Okay, so that was a game from 2003.
Yep.
Right, that was remastered.
Remastered.
Okay. This game...
rehydrated.
Rehydrated, as they say, yes. This game is a sort of spiritual sequel to that game. So if you jumped on board with the rehydrated version, it's brand new for you. But maybe you're a SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom fan from the original.
The OG.
And have been waiting 2 whole decades for a game that is...
For a proper sequel.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm ready! I'm ready!
And so it takes a lot of the same sort of classic 3D platforming style from that era, and obviously upgrades it and looks kind of fancy and new, but it is a sort of harkening back to that classic platforming style.
You wouldn't think that SpongeBob would be very good at sort of platforming or jumping and stuff.
Why?
He's got very thin legs. And yet...
Yeah,
he's jumping all over the place.
He's not very aerodynamic either. I would say like a sort of cube.
It's a sort
square.
of well, but a lot of holes in the sponge, so the air
flows through.
Airflow. You've got to consider the airflow. Probably, if you put him in a wind tunnel, you'd find he's extremely aerodynamic.
Yeah, he has a very low drag coefficient.
Yeah,
that's the kind of scientific analysis you can expect here on Outside Extra when we get involved.
Yeah.
High in the sky!
So like Battle for Bikini Bottom, it has, you know, the voice cast in there that you'd expect.
I still have the talent to turn you into a tool of destructive beauty.
Oh, goody!
It's got the sort of classic references and memes. A lot of references back to those sort of really early series of SpongeBob that I think are sort of generally considered to be super awesome classic episodes of that series.
Yeah, core SpongeBob.
Yeah, where a lot of those like memes and in-jokes were really established. So my favourite is just all the references to Sweet Victory, which is that episode where they rise out of the ground in an American football game and play an awesome song, like custom song written for the show, and Blow Over and Away, and that song is in there. It was also one of the trailers, which was kind of fun. It's got wailing guitars and all that kind of stuff.
Is there a better, more memeable character than SpongeBob?
I don't think so.
I would argue there isn't.
I will make myself extra picturesque.
But that's the thing, is that all those memes you see about SpongeBob are things that were funny even when they were way back in the show, and they're so enduringly funny that they have become memes.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of those references in the game as well. So the kind of close-ups on the detailed faces and the sort of weird pretending to be a chicken kind of thing that's become a meme. So yeah, all that stuff's in there.
Amazing. I have a SpongeBob fact.
Go on.
In French, he is called Bob l'Éponge.
Bob the Sponge. That's adorable. What about his trousers?
They don't mention his trousers.
Pantalon.
Yeah, Bob l'Éponge.
Avec les pantalons.
Avec le pantalon.
Square. Whatever French for square is.
Yeah, cubisme.
Cubisme, right, okay. Yeah. the cubic trousers.
Of Bob l'Éponge.
Cool. Well, the second thing I think you need to know about this game is that
I thought you needed to know that.
Yeah, I do know. Well, I feel enriched by the knowledge.
Yeah.
The second thing you need to know is that this is basically like the best looking episode of SpongeBob SquarePants ever.
What is it, SpongeBob? What do you see?
So it's got a really clean, crisp visual style. The character models are super sort of shiny and nice. And obviously, in terms of authenticity to the show, it's got, like, as we said, the original voice cast.
Yeah.
It's got, you know, a brand new script, tons of new jokes, there's some really funny lines in there.
Good morning, best friend. Are you ready for a lovely adventure? Nah.
What am I? I stayed up all night pretending I had hands.
It's like a playable episode of the show.
Exactly, yeah, but it looks sort of, not better, but like sort of, you know, it's like a really high-budget CGI version, essentially.
Look at these creatures, Patrick. They're
Funny?
no, scary.
Oh, yeah, that was gonna be my second guess.
So, yeah, I really, really love all the banter between SpongeBob and Patrick. It's really well written. There's some really good jokes in there. As part of the story, Patrick's been turned into a little floaty balloon, and there's loads of gags about that sort of thing.
Wait a second, Patrick, you're a balloon.
I wish. If I were a balloon, I'd be able to do cool stuff like this, and this, and this.
So
Okay.
the plot is essentially that SpongeBob makes a load of wishes on this magical bubble pipe thing, and all those wishes sort of cause the world to be fractured into these almost parallel universes, the cosmic shake of the title.
Do they make up the levels of the
Yeah, they do. So there's
Right.
these 7 sort of wish worlds, they're called, because they're all based on the kind of wish that that SpongeBob wishes. So, like, for example, Squidward, he wishes essentially that Squidward will get, like, recognition.
I wish that Squidward will finally be appreciated for his art.
And so Squidward becomes this sort of highfalutin Hollywood director who's very sort of pretentious.
I still have the talent to turn you into a tool of destructive beauty.
Oh, goody!
I love that premise. It's kind of harkens back to like 1990s platformers on the
Yeah,
SNES
yeah.
and Mega Drive. You're in a dream world, or
Yeah.
you're in a fantasy world, or you've fallen into various parallel universes.
Exactly.
It's a lovely, lovely throwback.
Well, it brings me on to my next point. Yeah, so the third thing you need to know is the levels are super duper varied, right? So, you know, instead of being set in the existing sort of SpongeBobiverse,
Under the sea.
is what I call it. Yeah, under the sea. I mean, it all still takes
Krusty
place
Krab.
under the sea.
The pineapple that he lives in.
Those are both in there.
Okay.
Those are both in there.
He has my pineapple too? That fruit-stealing freebooter is taking this too far.
But these 7 wish worlds, which you'll be sort of visiting in sequence, essentially, are super varied. So there is a Wild West one.
You're under arrest, red-handed bandit.
There is a Halloween rock bottom one.
What?
Yeah, so there's a Halloween level, Andy.
Oh, what kind of monster would abandon a candy bar like that?
There is a pirate level.
What?
Prepare to be scared.
Yeah. Okay, we're ticking all the Andy boxes right now.
Wait, so there's a Wild West one, a Halloween one, and a pirate one.
Yes, correct.
All
yeah.
right, sold.
And those are like those are some of the earlier levels. There's also the Hollywood movie one.
Again, I like Hollywood movies.
Yeah. Right. There's a prehistoric one,
I like that.
a medieval fantasy one,
Good, also good.
and one that's set in a theme park, which you also love.
Look, Patrick. Cool kids.
Damn,
it's
SpongeBob.
like they made the game for Andy.
This sounds great.
And each of them has their own visual style, and you get your own outfit to fit in.
Oh,
so
little
you get-
SpongeBob cowboy.
Yeah,
outfit.
little SpongeBob cowboy, little SpongeBob pirate.
my God.
For some reason, the Halloween one, he's sort of dressed as a flower.
Calcium. With a faint trace of protein. And lots of love.
Which is adorable, and
be
possibly
scary.
a reference to the show that an episode I haven't seen.
Ooh, a pretty flower costume. We must be going to some gentle land of sunshine and kindness.
Quite scary, possibly.
Yeah, there's tons of that stuff.
Is the prehistoric one? Is he dressed like the caveman from that meme?
Yes, and he's got the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. So you get to do an entire level dressed as him.
As meme caveman SpongeBob.
Squidward, Banuga.
But I think that variety is one of the things that really appeals to me about the game is that sense that, you know, we all know the kind of SpongeBob visual style, and we know of Bikini Bottom, but this has a bit more sort of variety and a bit more of a sort of it feels a bit more out there.
I'm just glad that they've realised all games should have a Halloween level.
They should.
It's not hard.
It should be the law.
It's a simple game design philosophy. Halloween level.
Add pumpkins to
All
any
games.
level, and it becomes a Halloween level. Really.
Done.
The next thing you need to know about the game is that those levels are replayable. So when I first played through the game, I was kind of crit pathing it, you know, like following the story, and there's a very strong, you're sort of launched directly into each level, and there's a really clear objective as to what you're supposed to do.
What are you still doing here? Please go to the exit or I will get fired. The director is waiting for you.
Yeah.
But what I sort of came to realize as I played more of the game is that actually each of those levels also has side quests and other activities that you can do. So, you know, you'll be heading to, say, the Wild West town, and if you're, you know, following the story of that level and getting to the completion of that level, then you might breeze through that area without sort of a second thought. But if you go back to it, you'll realize that there are other characters within that area who have side quests to give you. And
like any good cowboy.
Exactly. You wander into town, you mosey into town?
Mosey.
Moseying is what cowboys do.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just see if anyone needs any help.
Oh, hello. I would say thank you, stranger.
Or you go and beat a load of jelly monsters up, basically. Either way, you're helping.
Sounds like typical cowboy stuff.
Exactly, barring the jelly monsters.
Yeah.
So those side quests are, are stuff you can revisit at any time. So you can always hop between the levels and the hub world of Bikini Bottom. And if you finish those side quests, you earn doubloons, and we'll get on to what doubloons do a bit later on.
Pirate money.
Pirate money, indeed.
I'm rich!
Under the sea. That's all the pirates throwing their money into the sea, presumably, and that's where it's come from.
You don't need socks to be a pirate. Why, Patrick here has never worn socks a day in his life.
Even when you're sort of done with a level, you're not actually done with it, basically. You can go back and do a bunch more in that world. So if you super love Halloween Town, Andy, you can spend many hours just poking around there.
Looking for secrets and Easter eggs.
Exactly.
Things of that nature. Cool. Patrick's star is called Patrick Etoile in French, yeah.
That's adorable.
Bob L'Éponge.
I mean, presumably you can switch the language of this game to French if you wish.
Je souhaite que Patrick vive la plus grande aventure ballonnesque de sa vie.
Do you know what Squidward's called?
What?
Carlo.
Okay. That was unexpected.
Don't know why.
I'm trying to work out what it might be. Is it because it's a bit like Carlo Mari? Is his surname Mari?
Maybe.
Carlo Mari.
That's good.
Ce serait trop demandé d'avoir rien qu'un jour de tranquillité.
If you're French and you know, leave a message in the comments to let us know. The next thing you need to know about it is that Bikini Bottom is still in there, and it's a sort of hub world, but equally it has its own activities and side quests in there as well.
Nice.
So although there are sort of 7 wish worlds, as it were, actually Bikini Bottom is its own world that you can revisit at any time, and that has the portals that will take you to the different levels.
One of our friends might be on the other side of this portal. Come on, Patrick. We have to rescue them. It's our friendship duty.
But it also has little mini games and obstacle courses and side quests and bits of combat as well. It's always worth spending a bit of time exploring the hub world as well in between missions.
Yeah.
Just because new things might be in there, new little mini games. There's the one where you're tossing Krabby Patties, you know, making burgers and things, which is really fun, and that, you know, little unlocks in terms of outfits and stuff like that.
I know how you like playing dress up, so I've got a little reward for helping out your favorite employer.
Another thing you ought to know about this game is that actually the combat is sort of surprisingly deep.
Okay.
Deep. Pun unintended. I understand they're at the bottom of the ocean.
Fathoms deep.
Fathoms deep, yeah. So you've got your initial like regular attack, but you also have like a bubble one. So certain enemies you can kind of stun by capturing them in a bubble.
Cool, okay.
Sorry, nothing personal.
And hitting them that way, you later unlock a sort of karate kick move, which is a homing kick.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
He's got those big shoes on.
Exactly, yeah. But only those spindly legs. So
yeah, but the shoe is very heavy, I imagine, like a hobnailed boot type thing.
So that's really good for these enemies that roll around, and you have to kind of stop them by hitting them with a karate kick, and then you can hit them with regular impact. You also have like a cartwheel for evading, right?
Wow, that's very acrobatic
Yeah,
for SpongeBob.
it's you can cartwheel around the sort of arena,
Amazing.
avoiding attacks. And then there are sort of more kind of timing-based enemies. So there's a guy with a big bathtub who like swings it around his head and like slams it down. You kind of have to either evade or just stay out of the way until he's sort of got the bathtub stuck.
And then he's vulnerable.
And you will end up fighting all of these things at once, essentially. So it becomes a bit of kind of like crowd control and management of different enemies and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get through it, and the game's quite forgiving in terms of allowing you to try again. You know, pretty much immediately if you die. But yeah, there's a bit of depth to it, a bit of a rhythm to it. So it's I was surprised by that because I was expecting it just to be kind of running around and hitting things with his little fishing net. But actually, as you unlock more skills, and more enemy types come on stream, it sort of becomes this real balance of like, oh, I've got to deal with the rolling ones
Figure
first.
out what order you're going to fight people in.
Exactly,
You know, take out the harder ones first.
Yeah, and then obviously there are boss battles as well, and they tend to introduce a whole other sort of mechanic. So, for example, there's one in the Hollywood movie one where you're fighting Sandy, and she's wearing a sort of Bruce Lee style
the Game of Death jumpsuit.
Game of Death jumpsuit, yeah.
Well, if that ain't the sponge they call Bob and his biggest Dallas lunatic partner Patrick stepping through my door.
But she's in a giant wheel, and you have to kind of guide her towards a load of explosives to pop her out of the wheel, and then a bunch of bad guys come in. And it's a sort of, yeah, there's a lot to it that I wasn't expecting. I mean, I was expecting a lot of, you know, platforming because that's sort of the core of the game, and that stuff's in there. But the combat actually has a bit of meat to it as well.
Great.
And the final thing you ought to know is that this game is absolutely rammed with costumes. So you know those doubloons we were talking about?
Now you're talking.
Right, so there is a costume store, and the way it works is by doing the side quests, you unlock doubloons.
Doubloons, pirate money.
And the pirate money allows you to unlock, say, a tier of a selection of costumes, basically. Amazing. And then the jelly that you've been collecting, which is this sort of abundant resource in the game, you can then use the jelly to spend. So by spending the doubloons, you reveal the costumes that are available to you, and then you can buy the individual ones, the jellies. So it's not a kind of microtransaction-y thing. There is one piece of DLC with some extra costumes that are exclusive to those, but otherwise the costumes in the game are unlocked as you go on. There are tons of them in there.
You can wear them wherever you want, whenever you want.
So you can switch even mid-level. In your Halloween one, for example, you can switch to your pirate outfit mid-level, and they can just.
Well, it's a perfect Halloween costume, a pirate.
Exactly. I mean, there are so many, and the cowboy one would work for a Halloween costume as well. So
exactly.
You can really just mix and match. You know, if you like the little caveman eyebrow SpongeBob, you can have him running around the Wild West, for example.
Amazing.
30 plus costumes in the game, but it's kind of a nice two-tiered mechanic because obviously you get the doubloons and then you get the reveal of the costumes that are then available to you, and then you can pick your favourites. And there's a bunch of in-jokes and references to the series. So I think if you've watched a lot of SpongeBob, then you're going to get a lot out of the costume selection.
Yeah,
there
if
are
you've
tons.
Got a favourite SpongeBob outfit from the series, it's probably in there.
It almost certainly is, yeah.
Ooh, my karate gear, the most stylish outfit I own.
All right, there you go, Andy.
Thanks.
That's everything you need to know about SpongeBob SquarePants, the Cosmic Shake, and everything you need to know about what the characters are called in French.
Yes.
So it's a real double value, this video, I think.
Bob l'éponge.
Ma bikini bottom adorée.
If there was a dance called the Cosmic Shake, how would it go? Mike?
It'd be like... And then the stars at the top.
Yeah. Is that in the game? Maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know.
We are yet to find it.
But we do know that the 7 things that we just talked about are in the game.
Yeah. So go check out SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake. It's out right now. And thank you so much for watching this video, brought to you by Outside Xtra
and sponsor THQ Nordic.
Now do the Cosmic Shake.